man. Let's go.
And finally, we are live. Thank you, technology, for letting this happen. So, I am Carlos Gomez, and this is the Sketch Zone podcast. And with us this week, we have that one dude that just gets going. He was in the Super Bowl commercials just last weekend. Mr. Odel Palmer.
Okay.
Yeah.
How you doing, people?
Son, welcome to the show, kid.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome.
Kid. What's the deal? How are things?
Just chilling like a villain, doing my thing, trying to make a living. You know how it goes.
Get that Honda hustle on.
The hard life.
That was a good one, Charlie. Good one. And sitting in for us this week, we have Steve Talkowski.
Welcome.
Thank you for jumping in, kid.
Yeah.
And as always, the trusty, the ever-bearded Charlie B. Williams the third.
I am in control
You
of
couldn't
the
wait to get your
soundboard.
hands on the soundboard. How
It's
dare
been
you,
so
sir.
long since Jack is not here this week,
Sir.
and I'm going to run amok.
See.
Back to you, Carlos.
See. Oh boy. So, I wanted to talk a little bit about technology. I was going to talk about Google and how I really enjoy the different browser identities that you can have. Because I have one for Sketch Zone, I have one for my professional work, I have one for myself, my personal self, and then all of a sudden, Google Hangouts is crashing all crazy for a solid 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it's racist. I should send a letter to Google.
I think so too. Damn you, Google, with your racist ass. Yeah.
Give it up.
So that's why we're late, because Google's being racist.
Mm-hmm.
In other news, so yesterday Adobe had this big release of the rebranded Flash. It is now Adobe Animate, and yeah, your boy had to go ahead and flex a little bit.
What happened?
They've been having this event for the past, it started yesterday with the launch of Animate, and then today, and then it goes on till tomorrow.
Right.
But yesterday they had, and it's going on for, this competition is going on for the entire 3 days. So what they're asking people to do is create an animation in Animate and then post it to either Instagram or Twitter with the hashtag #MadeWithAnimate.
Okay.
And so your boy did that, and your boy flexed a little bit. Yeah, he brought it home. Bam! So I got a free year of Adobe Creative Cloud.
Awesome.
Oh, so it's the whole thing. It's not just Animate.
The whole thing. It's a membership of Creative Cloud. So I get Photoshop, Illustrator, Animate. I get Premiere, After Effects.
Yeah, try to use
going.
all of
Can
them
I
for
keep
years.
going? Can I keep going?
So now I know who to hook. I know to come to you whenever I need stuff, right?
Right.
Do it, kid. I'm here.
Ching.
I'm the bread bringer.
That's great, man. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's funny because a friend of the show, Scott Carey, and a personal friend of mine, we were both watching at the same time. And when I submitted it, I got so damn nervous, and he was messaging me back like, "How's it going? How's it going?" I was like, "Oh my God, I just submitted it." And then they put me up against 4 other animations, and I got 48% of the vote. The next person down was at like 15 or something. So yeah, I was excited when they announced my animation as the winner. I felt pretty damn good.
That's
and
awesome.
then and then I had to go do the cool down. I stretched out, just Daddy has to flex every once in a while. Let people know, you youngsters, that's fine. You're coming out of school with all the tools. But I've been here, done that. Just had to go ahead and bring it home. So anyway, today was the second day. Tomorrow's the last day. If you guys are out there and you want to try to get in on this, they're giving away free Adobe Creative Cloud memberships for an entire year. That's like 600 bones.
Yeah.
Like $50 a month.
Mm-hmm.
$50, but I designed a logo. Yeah, exactly. I designed a logo for this dude, and he hit with his indecisive self. It took me a solid 3 weeks of designing and stuff, and all I got was like $500.
Wait, that's it.
That's my theme song.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Meanwhile, it took me, I don't know how many hours, probably about 4 hours, 5 hours to do this animation. It was frame by frame, and then I inked it in I almost said Flash, in Animate, and then put it all together. Submitted it, and I got more money than dealing with some knucklehead. So moral of that story is don't waste your time doing creative work. Just do a bunch of contests, and pay your bills doing contests.
Cool.
Yeah, so I just I needed to brag just a little bit about that. But enough about me. Let's talk about my boy Odel Palmer. Sir.
Yes.
Hi.
You're down in LA right now, yeah?
I am. Actually, I live in Burbank, California.
Oh, you're like in the mecca of animation then.
How far are you guys away, Steve Odell?
Where are you, Steve?
I'm in Santa Monica, Mar Vista, so I'm on the west side. But funny thing is, I was just in Burbank this afternoon.
Yeah, because the studio that you were talking about earlier is in Burbank, and there's Hollywood. But actually, I work on the west side now too. So.
How's that commute?
Oh, dude, it's amazing. It's the best commute every day. I get to sit in traffic for an hour and watch people either pick their nose or yell at somebody else next to them.
Dude, they're always doing their makeup. They're eating breakfast. How about the dude that reads the book on his steering wheel?
Dude, there was this old guy trying to put something out of his back. No, you know when you see someone driving and their backseat is folded down because they have stuff in the trunk?
Yeah.
This dude literally was driving one hand and pulling stuff out of. I don't know. Pulled up next to him. I'm like, are you serious? And behind him, there's nobody in front of him. Behind him is like at least 30 cars, and I'm right behind him. I'm like, I just want to kill somebody.
That's called a hot mess, is what
traffic.
that is.
Traffic in LA is awesome. Just put like that. It's just
great.
constant traffic.
I like to tell the story.
Go ahead.
I like to tell the story about when I first moved to LA. I lived in Corona, and I was working in Hollywood, and it would take me 2.5 hours just to get there, and then another 2.5 hours to get home. So by the time I was home, I was real excited, and I was real happy, and everyone wanted to be my friend when I got home. And by that I mean everyone hated me because I was pissed off at the world, and just life sucks when you're sitting there for 5 hours, and that's without accidents. That's just pure traffic just sitting there.
Yeah, it's lovely, dude. It's lovely, especially when you're in traffic and the person in front of you is just being a straight dumbass. Like, why are you in this lane? Like, there's like how many lanes does the California highway has? Like 5 or 6. I'm like,
I know.
Dude, get the hell. get the hell out of the road. Just like seriously, people have stuff to do, and the traffic. There's no reason why we have this bad for traffic. It's just there's no reason for it. It's like there's a lot of people here, but if people put away their stupid phones and drive, or stop doing other things while they're on the highway and pay attention, people might actually get to work on time. You know, it's yeah. But like my commute every day from here to Culver City is 51 minutes. And that's me just like taking back roads. If I actually went on the highway, it would be like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. I used to try that too. I used to try to be cute, but then that becomes just longer. Because now instead of just getting through traffic, now you have to like wait for people to cross the street, wait for people to it's inevitable. Someone is waiting for someone else to pull out of a parking space for them to pull in. You're like, come on. It's brutal.
Yep. Oh, LA. But I love it though.
LA.
I'd rather be here than be back home in Florida.
So where's back home?
No one really wants to go to Florida though.
Like
You're from
Florida,
Miami?
I'm from Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, yeah, close enough. I did my time down in Miami.
Yeah, we don't have a Fort Lauderdale basketball team, but we have.
Well, Fort Lauderdale is just kind of like Miami for
old people.
Well, it's not. You know what? It's not even really old people anymore.
Really?
Yeah, young folks have moved there because Miami is starting to get super crowded.
Miami, actually, Miami is like one of the biggest, the hottest spots right now for
herpes,
architectural design.
I can see that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of companies online with it.
Yeah, a lot of people that I know right now is jumping into that because it's booming. It's like amazing. Like if I was into that, I would totally be in Florida. But
be rendering up some stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second. You're in I almost said Fort Myers. You're in Fort Lauderdale. What made you get into CG?
Well, essentially, it started out as me working for a company. I started right out of high school working for a computer company called DaVinci Group, aka TAG, and I was there for 4 years. And throughout that 4 years, I've learned a lot. They taught me. I was trained by Microsoft people, and ended up working for the Geek Squad for about 2-3 years, and doing like all these like awesome stuff when it comes to computer. I don't want to go on that, but long story short, it just wasn't for me. I think I got to a level that that made me realize that this job sucks completely.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's not for me because what I wanted to do, or I've always been creative, but I wasn't an artist. I was a musician, but I wasn't an actual artist. So I said, you know what? I really don't want to do this anymore, and I quit on my birthday. Actually, I packed my stuff and I left. And then I said I was going to go to college, so I went to I applied at Full Sail in Orlando. Went there, did my thing. It was too much money. Like hella broke, so can't do that. So I dropped that. I was going to go there for recording arts. I couldn't do that.
That was strictly a financial thing then.
Yeah, it's strictly a financial thing. I couldn't, dude, that's a lot of money, dude.
Right.
Like I thought about it, like, hold up, the only way I can pay for this is if I'm like Wiz Khalifa or Kanye. No way possibly I can see myself coming out being a recording, like a producer, and paying all this money back because it's just a lot. So I dropped it. and I was talking to one of my friends at the time, and he's like, "Hey, dude, don't give up. There's another school up. Excuse me, there's another school up there, and it's called the Dave School."
Oh, okay.
I was like, the day school? I don't want to go to school with some guy named Dave. Like, I'm really pretty. I don't know what
He knows everything, don't he?
Yeah, I'm not gonna just go into a dark room with a guy. I'm like, hey, my name is Dave, and
I'm gonna teach you some stuff.
some stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? I was like, nah, that sounds a little bit rapey. So I was like, no. So I was like, no, I'm not.
Dave sounds a little bit rapey. Good.
So he's like, no, it's cool. Don't worry about that. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he sent me a link to their website, and I looked at this website. I was like, oh, because so they do cartoons, and he's like, no, dude, they don't do cartoons. It's 3D animation. And I looked at it, and this was in 2009. I was like, I don't even know what 3D is. And he's like, do me a favor, just sit down one day and just sketch some stuff. And I was like, oh, I think I could do that. So I did. I sketched some stuff, which surprisingly turned out really good. And I don't have any of that to show. I went to the school. I called the school.
It's those mixed blessings that keep us going, though. It'd be funny to see that mess.
Yeah, actually, I probably have it. It's still back home in Florida, though. So I did an interview. I called the school. I went in for an interview, and I showed them my portfolio. They got me set up with financial aid, and I got started like 2 months later. Dude, it was amazing. Like the fact that I could just get into a school and do my thing. It was just like amazing. The only bad part about it, I'm sorry, I'm hearing an echo. The only bad part about it, I got into the school, which was like awesome. I was like, yes, I'm not going to be a failure. I got into a school. And I was like, yes, I'm going to do it. And then I couldn't do it because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I thought I was going to get into the school and draw stuff. Nope. I didn't draw not one bit. I was like, what y'all doing? What's this software? They're like, oh, this thing is called Lightwave. I'm like what? Like, what are you doing? Like,
Lightwave.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was in the class like, am I in the right spot? Like,
what did I say? He told me to draw something. Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So and I showed up, and yeah, dude, I sucked. I sucked really, 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 really bad. Like,
were you good at drawing?
Dude, I'm a musician. Like,
so that's a no.
That's me. And yeah, but I had to make a living. I wanted to go further. I needed to do something different, and I really wanted to get out of Florida. So I saw this as my gateway out of Florida, and there's a couple perks about the school that I liked. Going to school, it was directly connected to Universal Studios in Florida. That is, and one, I get to be in the park 24/7 whenever I want to. Get to ride all the rides. Get to do all this fun stuff. It was amazing. That didn't help me in school at all. So I did that, and yeah, it sucked. I failed. I was failing really badly. And if you talk to anybody I went to school with, can tell you this. I sucked.
Good and terrible.
Yeah, no, it was okay. This has potential, and like, oh shit, dude, like, what's this? Like, you need to stop. And
your teacher was like, "Have you heard of making music?"
Well, that's the thing about me, though. It's like I'm super stubborn and I'm super driven. So if you tell me I can't do something, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put it in your face, not another boo boo. I'm gonna do it better than you do. So it's just that was my thing, and I felt like I sucked really badly, and everybody else in my class was amazing, like amazing, even though it wasn't good compared to me. It was amazing. So, so I went home at a time. I was with my girlfriend in Florida, and I was like, "Yo, I don't think I can do this," and she's like, "Well, you already signed the papers. You might as well do it."
Right.
So I was like, "Yeah." So sucked over like a month or so after I finished so they had block periods, so like every 3 months we had a block. So my first block, or you would say my first semester, would have been modeling, which was cool. Modeling was the first thing I learned, and then we started doing Lightwave, which took me like 2-3 weeks to get my head around that, how it works. And to me, this is completely foreign. So I jumped in it and I did my best that I could. It wasn't good. To me, it wasn't good. I got through it, and I can show y'all my demo reel. That junk was horrible, but I can show y'all. I'm not afraid. That's one thing I'm not to do. Like, I'm not afraid of showing you my failure, because my failure shows you where I've been. And then if you look at what I have done now, you're like, there you go. And that's how I look at it. It's like, you don't throw away your bad work. You always keep your bad work to remind you how shitty you could be. And you're not.
Right.
Don't go back there. So after all that, I got into it. Let me just cut this really short. So I did modeling. I didn't introduce me to ZBrush. I liked ZBrush. I was like, oh my god, this is actually cool. I can take a ball and I can make it whatever I want to do. So I stuck to that because that was the only thing I knew how to do. And like I said, coming into this, nothing. And I saw the potential that ZBrush had, and I saw, for some reasons, I knew that I can make ZBrush work for me and take me places.
Okay.
And what was it about ZBrush that made it stick so well? I mean, because at the end of the day, modeling and ZBrush or sculpting is basically the same thing. But what is it about sculpting that makes it easier for you to succeed?
That's a good question. Let me see if I can give you a good answer for that. How ZBrush helped me, or how I look at ZBrush. ZBrush to me it's a source of like endless possibilities, right? Basically, all 3D programs are. But how I look at ZBrush is, whatever you think about in ZBrush, you can pretty much create, and you can pretty much have the freedom to just do whatever you want and not have to worry about all the stuff that
all the constraints of a regular modeling program.
Exactly. Yes. So it's like, so when I get into ZBrush, the first thing I look at, I have a complete blank canvas, and I just think, and I just call this my crackhead. This is my crackhead moment, which I just think random thoughts, and I just throw them out there. Some of them are really messed up, and some of them are really weird. But then I look at them like that's the whole purpose of being an artist. I can be weird, and it's completely okay. I can be myself. I can express myself through this like software, and so I kind of fell in love with it, and then slowly but surely I started picking up like how the interface works and how to use some of these brushes, which was really which is a little bit complicated for me to get through. And I had a really good mentor, His name was Steve Warner. This guy was like, dude, like when I sucked, he was like, yo, dude, you suck. Like really bad. It's like, I'm like, aren't you supposed to be like helping me, like, be better? He's like, yeah, I'm helping you be better. You suck. I was like, what should I do to get better? And he's like, the only way you're gonna get better is if you put time in it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm gonna put some time in it. And then like every day, dude, instead of going home after school, everybody else went home, played video games, did whatever they wanted to do. I stayed there. I stayed at school. I stayed, and I I tried and I failed. I tried and I failed. And then one day, a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, boom. I think I understand how this works now. And then I made a model which I can show you guys later. It was really
Awesome.
Or you can show us now. We're not trying to forget.
Yeah, but
I made a model and it was alright. So so I was like, okay. And my Steve looked at me and said, hey, you know what? It's not a bad start. It's really not a bad start. You need to take this to the next level though. So he was like, you need to understand anatomy, first of all. So he gave me an anatomy book. And I started reading the anatomy book, and I can't really remember all the muscles in a human's body, but like I just know what looks right and what
looks correct. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. So I started doing that, and you know, it started looking really good. It started looking really good, and then at one point, I decided I want to make the Flash, you know, Flash running guy.
Really?
Yeah. So I sat down and I started sculpting it, and people's like, dude, you know, you should stop doing ZBrush. I'm like, why? It's like, because you want to graduate and get a job. I was like, yeah. Like, well, there's not a lot of jobs with ZBrush. And I was like, why not? Like, because it doesn't work in a pipeline, so nobody really uses it in the industry. I was like, oh shit. So I just wasted all my time learning the software, and now I'm stuck. Like, so I'm like,
now
so
that
like
I'm good, I
like,
suck
you know,
again.
Yeah, right. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go to animation now. Oh, dude, and you know, my animation is like on point. Like back then, it was on point. I had foot slides. I had people floating, doing dumb shit. Like I was like, yo, that's legit. It was the worst.
Had people floating, doing dumb shit.
I was the worst in like the whole class. I was the worst, and like I'm not afraid to say this. I was the worst, but that made me work even harder because I saw where I needed to be, and I saw where I was, and I was like, how am I gonna get from point A to point B? And the only way for me to do that was bust ass and just study and just get there. And I did, and I made the Flash model. And actually, when I was working on the Flash model, this was on a Saturday. Yeah, I was there 7 days a week, literally 7 days a week. And because I sucked. So I was working on this Flash model, and this guy came up behind me, just random dude. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird because I'm all into my Cintiq and I'm just working. And he tapped me on the shoulder, and he's like, oh, dude, nice model. I was like, you think this is nice? And he's like, yeah, I think it's really cool. I was like, okay, nice to meet you. Well, thanks for the compliment. And he was like, he introduced himself. I was like, okay, nice to meet you, dude. And then he just walked away. I was like, okay. And then I'm sitting there just continue working. And next thing I know, Steve. Yeah, so Steve comes upstairs now, and he's like, did you just talk to somebody? I was like, yeah, some weird guy just like tapped me on my shoulder and said, you know, this looks like really good. I was like, it looks like crap, right? And he's like, no, it actually does look good. I was like, you fucking with me, dog. He's like, no.
He's like, Steve never says it good.
I was like, I'm like, whatever. And then he's like, you know what? Come with me. So he took me downstairs. And I sat in this room. It was Steve, that same guy, and the head of the school.
Oh.
I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna get kicked out of school. Like every time I get pulled into a meeting, I just instantly want to pack my stuff and just run. You just like, you can't kick me out if I'm not there. You know what I mean? So I sat down and they were like, hey, we want to talk to you. I was like, okay, cool. It's like, we liked your work, and we would like to offer you a job. And this is way before graduation. So I sat down like this, and I went like, me? This is the worst. Nah, you gotta stop messing with me, because they did mess with me a lot. They used to play. Dude, they messed with me a lot. So I'm like, nah, dude, like, this is complete crap. They're like, no, it's actually really good, and we would like to offer you a job.
Wow.
And I was like, nah. So I said, sure, the company that he was working for was Pixelmundo.
Oh,
And at the time, yes, and at the time they were trying to recruit to do this TV show called Terra Nova. And if you remember it, it's like a TV show with dinosaurs and the guy from, I'm really bad with name, but the guy from Avatar, the military dude, the big one, he was in it.
Yeah.
So, long story short again, that job didn't go through. You know how production works, they changed.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, back to the drawing board. So I actually went and finished school, graduated and everything. I stayed in Florida for a little bit, and then I was working for a guy down there doing some Disney stop motion stuff. And then I got a call one day. The call.
The call.
Dun,
Okay.
dun,
And
dun.
literally, no hesitation. The guy went, "Hey, Odell." I was like, "Yes." He's like,
I'll
"You
take it.
like, remember me?" I was like, "No, I don't. You just called my phone." He's like, "Well, I'm so and so from Odell." And I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He's like, "Are you working right now?" I was like, I hated the job that I was at, by the way. And I looked around, I'm like, yes, I'm working, but what's the point? And he said, well, how would you feel about coming out to California? I was like, I would love it. He's like, cool. So be here. It was a Tuesday, and he said, be here by Thursday morning. I was like, bruh, I'm broke, like hella broke. I can't even I'm couch surfing right now because I just don't have anything. And he's like, you know what? We'll find a way to get here and we'll take care of you.
Wow.
Boom. So I said to my boss, literally walked back inside. I'm like, I quit. I just left.
You getting an echo, Carlos? You getting an echo? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm
Let's try to turn it down if somebody's using their speakers. Okay, so you said you quit. Yeah.
Yeah, let me.
Is it yours?
I doubt it's mine, but just to make sure.
If you're using a speaker, then it is.
It could either be me or Steve. And I'm plugging in my headphones right now.
Just when the story was getting good, we want to make sure everybody hears this part.
Still echoing?
Hold on, let me try putting some headphones on.
Cool.
Yeah, it's not echoing on my side.
Yeah, I don't hear it yet.
Dang, was me.
So
Dang.
recap. You're broke.
Couch surfing.
You just went. I quit. And you have to be in California by Thursday morning, correct?
Yep. I started Thursday morning.
So what happened?
That was a big cab ride, wasn't it?
And tonight, and it's now what, Tuesday? And it's now Tuesday afternoon?
Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So it gets interesting
crap.
after this. It has to do with me and cops and the DEA and okay. So
Shut up, really?
no, really, like it's like dude,
No,
some stuff that happens to me. Like people think I'm just like completely making it up, but it's completely true. So I quit, and I only had $500 in my name. Like literally $100 for every day of the week. I mean, from Monday to Friday until I could, I do my hustling, get my money. So I was like, oh crap, I can't find a ticket to California with $500. So I looked it up anyways, and I did. I found one for $125, and
$125?
Yes, one-way trip from Orlando Airport to LAX.
For $125?
It's $125. See, nobody believed me, but I still have the receipts. And every time I've been going back to Florida, my tickets, I've only spent one time. I've spent over $200 on a round trip ticket from
Where are you finding
California. Bruh,
Yo,
Let me tell you about
okay.
this. Let me tell you about this off air. I'm not gonna promote anybody else. Like, hey,
Charlie,
me.
they took his little ass and they taped him to an albatross and said.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Okay, so cool. So you're on your way out.
So on my way out, I got my ticket, last minute ticket. So it's just like, boom, boom, whatever. So I had my boy drop me off at the airport in my car because so he dropped me off at the airport. I got my bag, walking inside the airport, and my boy was like, he was doing his little meditation thing, if you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
And so I walked out of the car. I walked out of the car with a contact, and I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, I did not expect this at all.
I really
So I wasn't even
want
like
some
focusing on that.
Cheetos.
So I'm walking into the freaking airport, dude, and I walked up to the front desk thing. And I was like, hey, I'm supposed to be flying out today to California. And they said, okay, cool. Let me see your ID. So I gave them my ID. They brought my ticket up and everything. I walked away. After walking away, I feel a tap on my shoulder. And that tap, the dude was like, hi, I'm Agent, whatever his name is, and I'm with the DEA. I'm like, shit, nigga, shit. I'm like, oh, if I run, would I get shot? I just wanted to run for no reason. I didn't even know what it was. So I was like, I looked up, and it's this tall ass dude, like, ripped and shit. I'm like, yo, this dude can kick my ass, yo. How am I gonna get away from this fool? And I looked outside as if my car was still there. Nope, gone. So the guy was like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I come over here? I was like, no, you can't talk to me. What's going on? And it's like this other black guy was walking. He's like, are you with that guy over there? I was like, oh, so because I'm black, I gotta be with the little black guy? he's like, no. It's like, no, not at all. I was like, so I started getting loud, dude. I got really loud, too. I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Because I'm black. It's because I'm black. Blah, 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 blah. And people start looking at me.
And for the record, don't do that.
Dude, no, I did it, and I pointed at the guy too. I was like, because you think I'm black because I'm with that guy, we have to be together, like what? And like, no, you just bought a ticket, a last-minute ticket, and the route that you're going on is a drug trafficking route. So we wanted to make sure. I was like, oh, I feel stupid, and he was like, no, it's totally okay. I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't trust these fools to begin with. So these fuckers followed me throughout the whole airport. I could see somebody walking by watching me. They checked my luggage if I had any weed or cocaine or whatever in it. But again, I kind of smelled like it because like the dude in the car was like smoking, and I was like, dude, like like.
And for the record, that's not illegal.
Yeah, I was like,
smell
do this.
like it's not illegal.
I'm like, exactly. I was like, do this after I'm gone, and don't like I said, I wasn't taking part of that, and so that was the reason why they stopped me there, because I smelled like, and I have dreads, so you know how that works. Your hair holds onto the smell. So they had a dog go through my whole luggage, and didn't find anything, which was awesome because thank God they did.
It was too good to be true.
Yeah, I did. So I got on the plane I missed my flight. Got on a different flight because they kind of held me up. So long ride, got to LA. I made it to the studio. It was fun. I made it there. The first show I worked on was The Grimma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second. You went to LA and you didn't have anywhere to sleep yet.
I didn't have anywhere to sleep.
Take care of it. Yeah, right?
So,
you said you'd take care of it, right?
Bruh. Okay, so they said that, right? But you know how that works. Like, dang, girl, you look good. And then after you get what you like, whatever. So that's what basically happened to me. Yeah. So no, they didn't do that. So I showed up, and this is where the hustle begins. I showed up. I didn't have any money. I knew a few people out here, so I broke out my phone. I was like, yeah, bro, I'll sleep on your floor. I'll wash your dishes. Like, I just need someone somewhere to crash so I can go work and back home. That's it.
Get my first check. Yeah.
Dude, it's
What year was that?
What year was that?
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was 2013. 2012.
So 3 years ago, basically 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Crazy ride.
Exactly, right? So it's like, and this is the thing, it's like, I'm not coming from somewhere which, this has been, I haven't been doing this for, God knows, 10, 6 years, whatever, all these other guys have been doing it. I'm really fresh off the block. So, and the only thing I knew how to do at the time was ZBrush. Only thing I knew how to do was ZBrush. And I was good at sculpting. I was good at sculpting faces and all this stuff. So they threw me on in the Grim.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did that. That was pretty. That was a project. It was a pretty good project. My first TV show, so I was like happy about it. Then they throw me, and that's when everything started going uphill. Yeah, I did. After the Grim, I jumped on DaVinci's Demon.
Love that show.
Oh, do you? Like, yeah. So that was my first show. So I modeled, textured, and yeah, it was pretty good. I did that for 7 months. And one of the scenes I did was one of the biggest scene. If you look on my reel, you will see it. It's amazing.
Now
that's so awesome.
It's amazing because I did it.
It's amazing. It's like I can't believe I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are good
it's
ones.
It's like they put it in front of me and say, "Hey, get this done," and I'm looking at myself like, "Who the hell do you guys think I am?" And this whole time, all this is happening. I'm like, "Yo, so when the hell am I gonna wake up?" so
that's a really important thing to actually take a breath and acknowledge the fact that you're beating the odds, man. You are. The fact that you went to Dave,
which is a good school, but
I've never heard of it, but hey, from what I hear,
we lost.
It's a good school,
but it's a good school.
Yeah, Dave is a good school. Actually, like
but coming into it not knowing, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is with Dave is like when I was at Dave, the Flash model that I did, they actually used that exact model to promote their school. So, and it was on the 3D Artist magazine.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember that.
Yeah, so if you guys get an old issue copy, you probably look in the back or in the front, and you'll see me like, "Hey, what up, fool?" But yeah, that was the broke pose, like, "Yo, pay me, yo." But yeah, I was on that, and that actually helped me get jobs, which was weird, and I appreciated everything that the school did for me. And even though I was like, I look at it as like this doesn't happen to everybody, and the amount of people that came up.
That's true.
Yeah.
But let's talk about why. Let's talk about some of these folks that are a little too careful. Mm-hmm. Like when you're young and you can take the chance, you should take the chance.
Yeah.
Especially if it's anything that's moving you towards your dream, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it.
Just do it. I mean, my man Odel jumped on a plane, didn't know where he was gonna sleep next.
Nope.
Next thing you know, he's working on DaVinci's Demons.
Yeah.
One of the coolest shows on cable TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then just to give like a little bit of a background, because your list is kind of big of different places. We'll just give a short rundown. So your official title for these things is a modeler, right?
My official title is a modeler / text artist.
Besides texture artist? Okay, cool. And like he's worked at, so we heard this story about how he got out to California, and he's worked at like Pixelmondo. That was back in September of 2012. He did that to about January 2013, right?
Yeah.
And then it says you went to Big Block.
Yes, I went to Big Block.
And
Big
then Imaginary Forces, right?
Imaginary Forces. That's where I met Steve.
Okay, that's where you met Steve. And then he went back to Pixelmondo. And then you got Encore on here. Encore.
Yeah, exactly. That was my gig after Pixelmondo.
So, what are some of the projects that you were working on when you were at these places?
Yeah.
If I can remember, I should have.
Or just start throwing some of them out there.
Okay.
I was looking at your IMDb, and for you to be in the industry for 3 years, your IMDb, the fact that you have an IMDb is big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've been in the game for 3 years, kid.
Yeah, my IMDb is actually not the best because I haven't actually updated it. And if you look at my IMDb, one of the number one things that's going to stand out is Nazi robots.
Yeah, I see that.
Oh God!
But you got Black Sails on here too, though, which
Yes.
which I love that. And now that one was the intro, right?
Yes. So yeah, let me break it down. So the couple studios that I worked at, like I said, Pixelmondo, Big Block. Pixelmondo gave me the break that I needed. They brought me into the studios, like into this industry. So I'm forever grateful and thankful for them guys. After I finished at Pixelmondo, I went to Big Block. Big Block, I worked on The Walking Dead. There's a Walking Dead. Yes, The Walking Dead.
You worked on Walking Dead too, dude?
Yeah, The Walking Dead. I did a commercial spot, you could say, / a video game for it. So there was like this Hyundai car.
Yeah.
That they had, and it was a maybe I can show you. It was a Hyundai.
Cool. Share your screen.
Is this where they make the car? Like this is the car for the apocalypse type of thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw that spot. Yeah.
Yeah. So I worked on that for a bit, and then
I hope it's the commercial that I think it is because I love that commercial too.
So
Right.
here it is. So I did this car.
Yep.
Full screen.
This car right here.
There we go.
Screen it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So a couple of guys and I worked on this car together. I think it was like 4 people, and we came up with this look. We got this car from the client, and they said we needed to look post-apocalyptic, and that's all they said to us. And we should take it and just run with it. So we sat down and we brainstormed for like God knows how long.
So hey
Come up with
guys,
this
so for
idea.
people that are listening on iTunes, imagine a little Hyundai hatchback. It's got 2 chainsaws hanging off the front of the car.
From the
If
bottom.
you walk in front of this bad boy, you're going
ankle
to be
high.
splattered.
Yeah, your ankles
He's
are gone.
got 1, 2, 3 machine guns. 2, one is on the passenger side, one is on the driver's side, and one is on the top of the car. What else you got back to it? Like,
It's
dude,
got a hatch like it's a tank.
and then it's got a hatch on top of the car towards the back.
There's the guns, like,
That's bananas.
which makes no guns because so yeah, I did this, the laser gun, the boom speaker on top, which is supposed to like just whatever, and so I did this car. Most pieces on this car.
Okay.
It was a fun project. And so after that, I went to, what did it say on there next?
So after that, it said you went to
Encore?
Imaginary Forces.
No, so I went to Imaginary Forces. My friend, a really, 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 really good colleague of mine, Andrew Roberts. He's a really good guy. You should check him out. He said, "Hey, I'm going to Imaginary Forces and they need a sculptor." I was like, "Okay, good." He's like, "Would you like to come?" I was like, "Sure." So I went, and oh my God, dude! Oh my God, I went, and Imaginary Forces is amazing.
And you
Right,
met
Steve?
there?
Right, Steve? Like, they're so good. They're so good. I love that spot. It's like one of the best studios I've been to. First of all, they treat you so well. Like, I had a massage downstairs, like because they brought. You remember that one, Steve? They brought in the masseuse.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't get to go that day, but yeah, I remember that.
Oh man, you missed out. It was
Steve's wife didn't let him
so.
go that day.
It was so good. Dude, they gave me they gave me the opportunity to bring out my art
Oh, cool.
and to just be creative. And the best part about it, I got to meet some really, really, really dope artists. Number one, Steve. I met him. Number two, and Steve was working on some robot thing. I think he was working his line of stuff. That's what you were working on at the time, right, Steve?
I was working on that video game. I was working with Ryan Summers, who was directing that spot.
Oh yeah, Ryan.
We did the what was it called? It was remember
Something
we did,
with leaves and arrows and.
well, yeah, and I was like working between Margaret and Amir, these amazing ZBrush artists, and they were.
Yeah.
What was it called? It was like a video game that never like a video game, and then the teaser took off, but then the main trailer never saw the light of day for some reason.
Oh, no idea.
Yeah.
So I met Steve, and then I met Meets Myers.
Yeah, Meets was there. And Gobi.
Dude, Meets blew my brain. Like I was like.
One of the Godfathers.
I was like, you're Meets Myers. He's like, yeah, man. He has his glasses down, and he's just too cool for school. So I was like, oh shit, I want to sit next to you, and then so Meets was sitting over here. They're like, yeah, Odel, you're sitting all the way down there. I was like, aw. Okay. So they put me right behind another artist. Mm-hmm. Justin Gobi Fields.
Yeah.
Oh, see the levels to our circles here.
Yeah. So I met Justin. I was like, oh, hey, dude, and he was like, yeah. He's a concept artist, right? He's a concept artist, but he uses ZBrush. So I was like, awesome. So I sat next to him and I saw how this guy sculpted, and he was really good. I was like, yo, dude, you're really good at this. And he's like, oh, yeah, thanks, man. And I started talking to him. He was only been in the business for like 3 years. And I was like, oh, cool, whatever. And like, Justin's a really cool guy. I worked with him. It was really dope. And I would love to work with him again someday. So I met all these people there. And then they gave us the project. They said, hey, this is what you're going to do. So my first model that I had to do at this company was DaVinci Bernini rape.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you Google Bernini rape model, you'll see him grabbing a lady's thigh and her hand, and she's pushing his face away. So that was my first sculpture that I had to create. And if you look up Black Sails, you'll see it.
Love it.
It's on there, and then they saw that and they loved it. So after that, they said, let's give you another model. So they gave me another model, and the other model that they gave me was, see if we can put it over here. The other model they gave me was this one.
Oh yeah, share it up.
Was the lady in the veil. I can't find a really big one of it. Let's see if we do it like this.
So we'll have the Vimeo for the Black Sails intro for those of you guys who want to come back and see it if you're listening on iTunes once again.
Okay. Yeah. So this was the second model they gave me, and they were like, hey, we need you to model a sad girl. She's really sad because she's a widow, and she can't get over her husband, and blah 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 blah. So I was like, oh crap, how am I gonna do this? So I don't know how I did it, but I did it. So this was the end result of that. And after I did that one, they moved me on to another one, which was this one.
Oh, you're not showing your screen, Odel.
Oh.
Go back.
Come on, son.
Show it. Just teasing us.
Thanks, Charlie. Thank you.
I thought he was setting it up all nice. He's like, and then this one. And I was like,
go back to the Bernini one first, and then we'll catch back up with this one.
Okay, so the Bernini was this one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
if you guys haven't seen Black Sails intro, it's really cool. It's like this big, huge collage sculpture mosaic of just different really cool scenes that all kind of tell a story, and the camera's doing a slow pan over all this for the intro, and it's a title sequence, so there's the director's names and people's names coming up, but it's really good. It was really different when it came out, and it's rendered really nicely. I think, are they like supposed to be ivory or porcelain?
They're supposed to be ivory.
Ivory, okay. So they're all ivory, so everything looks really cool. It's sculpted, like, realistic. It looks really nice, and a lot of people have, like, ripped off, the whole idea of this for title sequences. They've done it in one of the Marvel movies and a bunch of other ones, but they did it first. It was a really cool piece.
Yeah, this like when I finished the first sculpt, which is the Bernini, and having to do the imprints with the fingers, I was like, Bernini, he's such a great artist, dude. He just thinking about how he did this back then with marble, like, bro, I can't even. If you gave me a piece of clay right now, I couldn't do this because I've never really worked with clay. But this dude did it out of marble, and it looks so seamless. It's like, you seen his veil work, Bernini veil? That's just like amazing. Like, how the hell did you get marble to look that thin? That's what I don't get. So
what's different? They don't have TV. They didn't have internet. They had marble. So you learn how to work with marble if that's all you got.
Caveman status, bro.
They didn't have internet.
Exactly.
Steve, have you ever done any sculpting or anything like that with real?
I did in college. I did figure sculpting in college, but it has been a long time since I've actually done any of that kind of stuff. And I remember going when I was at IF. I remember going in the back room over to see where those guys were working on. I would poke my head around the corner and walk around and look at everybody's monitor. And I remember Meets was doing this because I've known Meets for years, and I was like, I knew which one they were going to give him. He did that whole opening of the ship.
Yeah. Meeks went to he.
I was like, come on. I could have asked him. I go, how many polys is that in Maya? It's like, it's gonna crash. And he's like cranking it out, and they were doing the moves in Maya on that spot. So
yeah, Meeks is a beast. Like,
so this is the one he did.
Yeah, he's to find a better photo. Like he went.
So here's the thing. So all this stuff is inspired by that artist Chris Kunsky.
Yes.
And they had the book there too. So we're looking through the book, and I'm like, yeah, this is like kind of cool the reference they're using. And then they pulled it up really nicely for the opening.
Is this some of the artwork?
Here's a question while you're trying to find that artwork. There's some guys out there that think that you should be able to draw to be a better modeler or to be a better 3D artist. What do you guys say to those people?
Well, personally, now I can draw the hell out of some stick figures. So that's I
will stick figure my ass off.
I can draw you Nicki Minaj. I can draw you Kanye. I'll give you the whole stick figure like lineup. But no, I can't draw anymore because like I said, I only drew what I did to get that interview, to get into that school. So that's all I did. So after that, I haven't really went back to it because I've been busy trying to learn 3D.
Yeah.
So can I draw? No, I cannot draw.
Are you successful?
Draw, yes, I would consider myself successful at what I do. I am. If you can't draw, it does help. The thing is, you know how people say if you lose 1 sense, the rest gets stronger. Like if you can't see, then your hearing gets really really high. That's how I look at it. I can't draw, but like I can't do anything in 2D. I can't fathom 2D. That's not me anymore.
Right.
So everything I think about and see and want to do is all 3D. So if you can draw, it does help you. It does, and it will help you get your ideas out there and help you, concept a little bit better. Like I said, personally can't draw, so concepting for me is a little bit harder than it is for some people. I have to model my characters. So I model my characters to a certain, to 20%, and then I kit bash it. When I say kit bash it, I'm not talking about adding models to it. I'm bringing it in Photoshop, and I'm just cutting up photos and throwing it together to see how it looks. I just want an idea of what I have. So that's how I do it. You don't know how to draw, you find out a way to fix it.
So you have a model. Let's talk about that for a second. You have a model, and then you bring it into Photoshop, and then you basically put pictures on top of that model. Do you then export that and then extrude the pictures that you've seen?
No, I then, because this is just getting the idea of what's going to look good instead of sitting there trying to sculpt it all out. So I would just Google random photos, and I'll just take them, twist them, manipulate them, and do whatever I need to do to get somewhat close of an idea of what I want. And then I'll bring it back into either Max or Lightwave at the time, and model it out. And then, really low res, bring it into ZBrush, start push it in, pull in until this is way before Dynamesh. This is when I was just using Z-Spheres and Z-Sketch. You remember those days?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing that, and that's how I concept. That's how I do my, up to this day, this is how I concept, because I still can't draw. I can sculpt way faster now, but it saves more time if I just roughly do an idea, just a roughly shape of what I want and bring it into Photoshop, and it's just like kit back for different photos to get something to what I want, and then bring it back in ZBrush and just continue sculpting. That's how I do it. It might not be the best way or the fastest way, but that's my way, so suck it.
Yeah. I definitely do think it helps, and I've always seen in school as well as when I started teaching, students that did have really good drawing background, when they did get it, because everyone had to learn and get their head around modeling in 3D, but when they did, a lot of times those that really got it, that drawing really helped them, because like Odel said, the concepting helped them a little bit more, but or they understood the anatomy a little bit better than the ones who couldn't. But you still have those ones that like myself. I'm not the best drawer, but I do still find myself sketching stuff out and trying to like visualize it, because you do need to visualize it and grabbing reference and stuff like that. But drawing definitely helps it, but it's not necessarily an end all if you can't.
The worst part about it is like
the other thing, you fill your head with modeling or whatever, if you can't compensate.
The worst part about it for me is like I see all my friends, and even Steve, they're ridiculously great artists. They can draw, and I was like, I get so jealous.
Yeah.
And like I sit down and draw, and I'm like, dude, I look like I have like
stick figures.
just straight up stick figures. I get so upset. I get so freaking mad.
I was sitting in on a Periscope that Steve was doing when he first got his iPad Pro, and he was just knocking out his drawing, right? And everyone was like, "Oh my God, how did you learn how to draw like that?" And he's just like, "Look at my robot." Everyone was like, "Whoa, where did that come from?"
I do think though, like remembering back when I got my first job at EA, I came in with, like, they call it the freshman class, with like 3 or 4 other artists around the same age, but there's 2 other ones that were really, really good. They're environment artists also, and they happened to be on the same team, and I got put on a different team upstairs. But I would come downstairs, and both of them would be sketching out stuff, or one of them had like kind of went to school because he wanted to be like an architect at one point, and then kind of switched over into like 3D, and the other one just went to another art school. There's this natural drawing, really good at perspective and stuff like that, and they were drawing out their scenes, their environments in like panoramic form, like, and then they would draw them on big pieces of paper, Carlos, right? Cut them up into 2 halves so that they can then scan them in. They would then reconstruct it in Photoshop, the scan, and then render it, and that was there. And then they would submit that to the art director for the designs. Yo, 22 24-year-old Charlie was shitting his pants at lunchtime. I was like, I got in.
Awesome.
You know, my Molly got me in and like everything else. But I was like, dang. And then you would fast forward like 6 months later, you know, and you go back and you look at their actual finished environment, because they were working on Def Jam Icon back then. That's what they're working on. I was working on a Marvel game that never came out. But their Def Jam Icon levels, there was like a level that simulated a block down south, and a one that simulated like a rooftop with like a helicopter that was like crashing and all that stuff. Looked good. Ryan Hastings, you're amazing. He's an art director over at Microsoft right now. Buddy, you're amazing. So shout out to you, buddy. Shout out to you.
That's great.
So moving on. But yeah, man. So it does help.
Yeah, it does, man. It's I don't know. It's like I'm still kind of working on it, and how I'm working on it too, which is really, it's just my technique. But I'm starting over from the basics. So I literally take a photo of something and I'll just trace it constantly. I just take a photo, and then I take another piece of, or in Photoshop, new layer, and I just draw over that layer. And I try to mimic exactly what I have behind it, and it's really hard. But it's just like everything, you know, when you first start, it sucks. So you gotta just keep at it and keep going, and that's, I guarantee you, I'll turn something out that's probably just gonna turn out pretty good. But you know, this is just how, you know, you get into it. And I tell people all the time, just because you tried and you failed, that doesn't mean you should stop.
Right.
Now you only know where, you know what low feels like. So the only place left for you to go is up. So don't go back to failure. Like, strive to become something, you know, different. And that's how I look at it. It's like, I already been there. I've been to the low, and I'm not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? That's the thing people get. People think that because you come out to LA and you don't get the job that you want to do, you know, you're just gonna give up and go back home. Actually, don't. That's good that you're going through this, because like, everybody needs to know what failure feels like. Because if you never failed in your life, then you'll just be a brat. You know what I mean?
You get spoiled,
everything that you ever want was given to you, and like, who the hell are you? Like, no, that's not how the world works.
Right.
You have to fail, and by failing makes you a better person. So that's how I looked at it, and I just kept going. I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail with style. Just put it like that. Don't care about what anybody else has to say or think about you. You have a goal. You have a dream. Just fucking get it, dude. Just don't let the naysayers, like, you know, say anything to hold you back. You know, like, you know,
or learn to ignore them at least.
Yeah.
Because haters are going to do exactly what they do, and that's hate, and that's fine. But you need to learn to let that just roll off your back, and if anything, use that as motivation.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's what I do. Is like, I took the negative and I made it my positive. And this was when I just came out here. You see this? Draw a map, find a path, take a breath, and then run.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what I did. This was my Facebook profile photo for the longest, for like the first year. And everybody's like, "How are you doing this in LA? You have no money." I was like, "I know, but I already planned it out. Like, I'm not going back home." It's like, screw that. I'm not going back home. So that's what I did. I planned it out and I made it happen. And it's like, I tell people all the time, if you're in LA and you're not doing what you wanted to do when you come out here, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Like, I have no sympathy for you. Because to be in LA, it takes a certain personality. And if you don't have that personality, you're just a bitch. That's all it is. You need to, like, people say New York is hard. New York is hard, but I guarantee you being in LA is harder because people will laugh in you. People look at you like, yeah, totally, and then completely ignore you. In New York, they'll be like, nah, dude, you suck, leave. In LA, they will think that they make you think that you got something going on, and then just shit on your whole parade. That's harder to deal with than somebody saying you suck. You know what I mean? It's like somebody build your expectation up and they just like completely let you down. So that's when I tell people, is like, I have no sympathy for you. If you want to get somewhere, just go. Just do it. The only person that's stopping you is you.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's like, don't take anything from anybody. You know where you want to go. Just do it, man. Just do it. And that's what I've been doing. That's like, people ask me how I get all these jobs or how do I get on these projects. I really don't even know anymore because I'm not focusing on that.
Yeah. But what are some of the things that you personally do to keep your hustle going?
Dude, like, I'm always, like, you can ask anybody, I'm always on the grind. I'm always on the grind. Like, so I get home. Instead of going out partying, I either go to the gym, and as soon as I'm back from the gym, I'm sitting on my desktop. Why? Because I don't think I'm where I need to be as an artist. All the people
You hear that, Justin Goby Fields? I'm just throwing.
Just throwing names out.
Justin Goby Fields.
Just throwing Justin.
No, but it's true. It's like, I don't feel accomplished as an artist.
Yeah.
It's mostly my fault because, like, where I saw myself 3 years ago, I already passed that.
Okay.
Where I saw myself last year, I'm not past that yet. So that's my thing. It's like, I look at it as steps. Like, you first get your foot in the door. Just do what you have to do to get your foot in the door. Sleep on the floor. Have cockroaches run over your face. Been there, done that. It's not that hard. I'm still alive. Dude, like,
hey, we had someone on the show that got mugged by
a cockroach?
No, he got mugged by a homeless person.
Bruh, the struggle. I'm trying to tell you, dude. The struggle is real. Dude, I came up with this thing called a Peter Pan syndrome, right? And basically how that was, because I was really, really poor, right? So I used to go to the dollar store, and I used to get, like, ramen noodles, and I used to get hot sauce, the crystal hot sauce, and I used to get Vienna sausages, right? Boom, and a slice of cheese. That's all I need. Mix it up.
That's a good dinner right there, kid.
Dude, that was spaghetti and meatballs.
That's quality nourishment.
That was my spaghetti and meatballs for months. And how I looked at it, it was like this. You see Peter Pan with Robin Williams, right? And they're all sitting around a table, and they're like, you can do it, Peter. You can do it. And they're all eating imaginary food. And they're thinking that it's like chickens and burgers.
Oh, no, you're silly.
That's what I did.
You're visualizing you eating steak.
Dude, Spam. I used to eat Spam like a mug, dude. Like, I was like, yo, this is the best.
Hey, people in Hawaii eat Spam like it's going out of business.
You fried it up, didn't you? Fry it up?
Man, I did everything to that, bro. I was like, yo. I was even thinking about coming up with a YouTube, like, thing. It's called Cooking on a Budget, because hella broke. How to spend, like, how to go to the dollar store
and do that one. I've been wanting to do something like that too.
Oh man,
because you know how especially developers and a lot of artists too, but developers, they're on a steady diet of, like, chips, Funyuns, and Mountain Dew.
Or Red
They
Bull.
say, oh no, I don't have time to eat. No. I've never believed that.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I did, dude.
But you kind of segued that into your into, like, when you got in and started learning the business a little bit as a production artist, right? So, like, kind of talk about that and what that means to you in terms of, like, kind of one of the reasons why you keep your skills so sharp, because I think a lot of people don't know what a production artist actually does, or they are always thinking that there's no creativity in it, or there's not enough creativity, which there's a lot of like work that you have to do for a client or whoever your boss is. But
Yeah.
at the same time, talk about how you will get different things from your boss, and it's up to you to figure out what it looks like, if it's a character or whatever, and how does that work in the pipeline you do for VFX for TV film?
Well, I think the difference between being a production artist and a freelancing artist that works from home predominantly. That's all you do. You work from home, and you can either do stuff for yourself, or you have. I don't really even know how people do work at home anymore, because it's so hard nowadays. Because everywhere that you apply for jobs, they kind of want you to come in and sit with them and meet the team and be a part of something great. I've done both. I've had jobs where I just worked completely from home for myself, and personally, I don't like it because that doesn't give me the opportunity to grow. I'm staying at home, and like I said, I'm new to this, so it might just be that, but I think that it has a bigger effect on me because I'm home and I'm trying to model something, and to me this looks great. To me this looks like phenomenal model, but I can show to somebody else and be like, dude, you spent a week on this? Like, what the hell is this? You know, it looks like Michael J. Fox did it. This is like so bad. It's just really bad.
Oh my god.
So bad. So I look at it like being a production modeler in a studio, that benefits me personally because there's growth. There's tremendous growth. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if I didn't work in a studio. Like, I work from home. I've done projects. None of them really like came out the way I've actually wanted them to come out. So, you know what I mean? It's like I don't
So you kind of feed off that artist interaction a little bit. Then
dude, I'm a leash. Like I feed off. If you're creative, just a tidbit of creativity in you, I'm gonna be like, how did you do that? Like, this is cool. This is really amazing. Like, maybe I can learn that. Maybe I can, see what you're doing, and that inspired me to be a better artist. I don't want to just take everybody's job. I just want to keep growing, and that's the difference between, when you're home, you're stagnant. When you're on the field, you're forced to, you're uncomfortable 24/7, and that's a good thing. I always tell people, never get comfortable. The second you get comfortable, you get fat. Second you get fat, the only reason you get fat is because you're getting fed really good. And that means that you're no longer looking around. You're no longer watching your back. You know what I mean? And I never want to be put in that position. I always want to grow. I always want to push myself to see how far I can go as an artist. Would I ever want to work at home for myself? Probably not. Because like being around people like Steve in the studio, I could be like, yo, dude, I have this really cool idea, but I don't think I can go forward with it. Can you take a look at my model and see, tell me what you think?
You want that instant feedback, yeah.
And they'll be like, yo, dude, this is amazing, or this is garbage. Like, stop it. Like, you need to do this and this and this. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't think about it that way, and now I do. So, like, it forces me to become a chameleon. And what I mean by that is, like, whatever situation you're in, you can adapt. You can blend in, and you can learn. And the thing about working with everybody else is for you to learn from each and every person around you. Like, that's what makes our community what it is.
And that
you learn so much faster when you're surrounded by it.
So much
faster.
But then you also use the word of adapting, right? So, like, I know we've talked in the past, and you always talk about just the different projects that you might have to get, or the daily day that you have to be as a production artist in terms of not knowing how you're gonna, solve this problem, but that steady incline of like critique from your artists, from your peers, allows you to be able to adapt to those situations. Correct? So like, how do you keep sharp, in terms of that, when coming up with different types of problems? So like, I think we were talking about characters one time, and how you had to sculpt a look, coming up, and then how the rest of your team helped you out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I've worked with clients that, how should I put this? You see this piece of napkin?
Uh-oh.
They would literally sketch something on this piece of napkin and say, "Hey, you got the idea, right?" And I'm like, I'm really broke. Yeah, sure, I got it. And then it's always a crapshoot. Like, they have an idea of something that they think is going to be amazing, and it's your job to take that idea that they give to you and try to make it come to life. That's to me is the hardest job out there. You can be thinking about whatever you're thinking about right now. Just say to me, and it's never been created. It doesn't exist. And I have to take that and make it exist. And that's the hardest thing for me to do. But a lot of my clients that I work with they're just like that. They give me things that I'm like, yeah, dude, this is really, really dope. And then I stop and I'm like, what the hell did I just say? Like, this is ridiculous. How the hell am I gonna, like, you know what I mean? It's mind fucking. It's just like, you have to believe in yourself that you can do it. And whatever they shoot at you, you have to think out of the box. And I always tell people, your imagination is your limitation. If you can't imagine something, you will never accomplish it. So that's how I look at it that's how I keep getting sharp. People like, and I used to use my little brother. He's 11 now. He's 12 now. And he's brutally honest. Like, brutally honest. And like, if I'm trying to do a character or something, I will show it to him. And he's like, yo, what the hell is that? And I was like, oh, never mind. You know what I mean? he's like, was that supposed to be human? And I'm like, shut up. Like, no. Like, why did I even talk to you?
Still looking like Yo Gabba Gabba.
Yeah, he's 12, right? That's the thing. He's so young, but like, he can literally look at something and be like, yo, that's right and that's wrong.
Oh wow.
And I used to hold on to that because kids are so honest. If you ask your kid anything about yourself, they will tell you straight up. Do not ask him because they will make you cry.
Yep. That's why I always say my two favorite people are kids and old people, because kids don't know any better and old people don't have time to bullshit you.
Yep. They just don't give two shits. I love old people. Old people are awesome. Yeah, but that's how I stay on top of my game. I've always, like, whenever I get the chance to just sit down and I just come up with the most random idea and then I'll make it. For example, I was working on this character.
I'll share your screen. I love this one.
So I was working on this character, and this character, I was like, you know what? I've been working on superhero shows.
On iTunes or on the audio version, he's got this really angry-looking Captain America up on the screen.
I've been. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. It's a mashup. My fault.
There it is. You caught it.
Yeah. So for the past year and a half, I've been working on superhero TV shows, as you know, and it's been great. Like, it's been fun, and I loved it. That was actually one of the best jobs I've ever had, and it was like, because
so this is getting even better and better when I focus.
Yeah.
So exactly. For folks at home, you have the Incredible Hulk wearing a Captain America mask with the X-Men belt, Thor's hammer. He's got Wolverine. Not fingernails.
Claws.
Claws.
Yeah.
Okay, let me break it down for you.
Dude is upset.
You gotta tell them the story, yeah.
So I sat down one day, and like I said, I shoot out a lot of these ideas, what I call crackhead ideas, right? So I would just want to say, hey, that would be cool. What if the Hulk put on Captain America's mask?
Just straight jacked him for his mask.
Yeah, I was like, give me a mask. Just grab it, put it on, right? And I was like, oh, that would be cool. I'm like, what if the Hulk actually, because every time I Google the Hulk, a lot of images comes up, and it's the Hulk with Wolverine, and I never understood why. So I was like, you know what I should do? I'm gonna mix the Hulk, Wolverine, Captain America, Deadpool, Thor, and put them all together in one character. And like I said, crackhead idea, because how the hell are you gonna do that? That's never been done. So now I'm like, oh crap, what's the body gonna look like? First of all, so I started concepting. How did I concept? The same way I just told you guys. So I started. I took the. I didn't start from scratch. I used a super average man in ZBrush because I was doing my concepting. So I took that guy, did a quick render, screen grab, whatever, dropped it into Photoshop, and in Photoshop I just started, drawing claws, putting on I just shaded his face as Captain America. I put a slash, the stash going around his torso for Deadpool, and then I said, you know what, I'm gonna give him Thor's hammer, because what else I'm gonna do for Thor? I don't know. I'm not gonna make his pants because I want to use Captain America's pants or Wolverine's pants. So basically, I'm throwing all these superheroes into one character. You
put the shield on his back, right? Yeah.
So I put the shield on his back as well, as you can see, for Captain America, and the shield is already it's pretty close, and the reason why I say it's a crackhead model, I don't know why I started this model, but it's like it all started off like as this really awesome project, and then turned into this like colossal like shit that's like, what the hell are you doing? Like literally, I feel like this doesn't, like, I'm a crackhead and I shouldn't be doing this. But there it is.
But fast forward to like we had a Skype hangout.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah. So let me tell you what this fool did. Right. I'm sitting there. I'm like, yo, dude, like, yo, check out this model. I just completely like came up with this crap, and it's completely like garbage. Right. And he's like, yo, that look mad familiar. I'm like, nah, bro, this is original. Like, yo, I came up with this. This man's like, no, dude, I saw something else that looked familiar like this. I was like, dude, I've Googled a bunch of crap. I can't feel nothing like this. He's like, hold up. This fool Googled Maestro. Is it Maestro?
Yeah, it's Maestro.
Maestro Hulk. And I was like, literally went like this. My jaw dropped.
I'm a comic book nerd. What do you expect? I'm a comic book nerd.
My jaw dropped and my pen hit the floor. Like, you know what? Screw you guys, because you just shit on my like, this shit already kind of exists. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, who? Like, thanks, Charlie.
So for those of you guys who don't know, Maestro Hulk is another storyline. If you look up Maestro Hulk, I was telling Odell, this dude needs a beard, like the Maestro. So the Hulk, there was. I don't get into the story, but basically the Hulk ended up getting Banner's brain, but keeping his brawn. So it's a smart version of the Hulk.
Oh, damn.
Where the Hulk's smart, right?
I'm looking at it right now. I never even heard of this before.
Yeah. So and he's like
a dope character.
It's a dope storyline where like it's in the future, and like the Hulk was just going through everybody because he's smart, and he had a beard, and like Cable had this crazy idea of going back in time and grabbing the other Hulk so that he can defeat this Hulk, and like it's badass. And the only reason why we got to this part, because when I saw it, the character itself, the mashup didn't make me think of it, but I was like, you got to give him a beard, like maybe infuse some of like Thor's like hair, but give him a beard instead. And I was like, you know what? It's like this other Hulk character. Then he was like the Maestro, and then like it literally for an hour floored Odell. I felt bad afterwards, but I was like, this is awesome. So he's like, I gotta call him the Maestro now. So if you guys want to look up that storyline, just look up Maestro Hulk in Google.
I looked
at pictures.
I looked for an image, and there's Maestro Hulk sitting on some really cool recliner thing.
Yeah.
Captain America's shield is on the wall.
Yeah.
Spidey's mask is in a little case. He's got Daredevil's cane. He's just jacking people for all their stuff.
Hold on.
He's looking at he's looking
He's holding
at
Iron Man's mask.
Iron Man's helmet. It's hilarious.
Okay, so this dude is so badass, right? He's so fucking
We were reading
badass.
the whole story about
Nobody in the Marvel universe has ever killed him, which we never heard about his character before. And like, if I didn't start doing this sculpt like from scratch, from just like complete, like crackheadness, I would never knew that this character existed. So like while I was doing this character, I was like, yeah, he should have like all these people like at his foot, like really messed up. And just like, he just killed everybody.
Yeah, so yeah, what I'm saying is, yeah, it was like nuclear war hit the Earth, and then the radiation caused Banner and Hulk to kind of fuse, and that's why it made him smart. So, but it kept him as the Hulk. Like most of the humans are almost extinct, and as well as all the like superheroes or whatever, but the Hulk is going to survive because radiation doesn't kill the Hulk, Right. But it's great. It's just crazy. We'll put a link in the show notes to the wiki. It's a ridiculous story that I want to find a trade paperback for, like all of them.
So what do you guys think about all of the comic series going to like Netflix? And I mean, yeah, they're making mad cash at the theaters, but all of a sudden you're starting to see all these recurring shows popping up with all the superheroes.
This is how I think about that. I think that's a phenomenal idea, and they should keep doing it. The reason why, it gives more artists, it gives the artist the voice of like, this is what, instead of like, and don't get me wrong, like I've worked on some films, but like, you don't really have a say-so when you work on films. When you work on a smaller project, a smaller budget, on a TV budget, you have a lot of say-so, like as an artist, and like the fact that they're sticking to the comic books. This is true to the comic books. This is why people love comics. People don't love comics because you're going to see Robert De Niro or whatever. Is it De Niro?
Oh, no, Robert Downey.
Yeah, Robert Downey.
Robert Downey.
Yeah, you're not going to see him being an Iron Man. So that's a cool thing, but you cannot get the full idea from a comic book, from a movie that you can from a comic book, which sucks. And just the fact that Netflix is doing this now, dude, I saw Daredevil, and Daredevil. Dude, it blew my mind, dude. Like, it was so good, dude. It was like it was so freaking good.
It's well done.
It's because they stuck to the comic. They stuck to.
Let me tell you something. You don't even have to be a fan of comics
to like it.
Because it's just good storytelling and good cinematography.
It's a wonderful story. The cinematography is so well done. The way they put it together, down to the binge watching, everything is perfect.
And just so you guys know too, the last project Odel was on for a long time, he did a lot of the principal modeling for The Flash TV show. So if you guys watch The Flash, you won't even realize that a lot of those shots, even the backgrounds, are all CG, including the actors at points. And I think they do so well seamlessly because it's a TV budget, right? And what's the time frame for a show based on if it's in rotation? Is it like 2 weeks or what? How long do you have?
Okay, so let me break this down for you. Okay, so being on The Flash was dude, it was ridiculous. So I was there from, I wouldn't say I was there from day one. I was there probably from week 2.
Okay.
I got on there and it was just, dude, the team was so small. It was so small. The team was, probably like 50 people on this team.
Who else do we know that worked on Flash?
Okay, right?
Wade Ryder.
No, Wade.
Did Wade?
Yeah. Wade. I know Wade. He worked with me as well. But on Flash, it was only for the first season. It was only 2 character artists.
Really?
And when I said character artists, I mean I modeled, I textured, and there was another character artist that did the same and textured, but he was mostly a rigger, so he did most of the rigging so while he was rigging characters, I was making characters. Wow. So season 1 sucked. Reason why it sucked because it was so much work. It was like non-stop work.
Yeah, like you don't have that much time before the show actually airs. How
No,
long is
it's
that?
like for each show. So a show probably take us 3. I would say from getting it to the time it aired was like 2 to 3 weeks probably. If not that, if it's that long, it doesn't feel like it. But yeah, and so we started off with just the well, when I came on, they already had the Flash modeled. They already have the Flash in the red spandex done, and that was it. That was all the characters that was done. And then that's when the shit hit the fan. Everything just like, hey, you need to work at least 12 hours. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I really like it. Superhero stuff.
They're paying by the hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like, to me, it was really stressful, extremely stressful, and the fact because I was so nervous, I was so afraid that I wasn't good enough to be on this team because like some of the artists was like amazing. I've worked with some people, and I'm like, how the hell do you even get? How did you get that to do? Like one of the scenes was like, one of the scenes like, and like I'm the biggest, dude. I freak out for the dumbest shit. I'll be like, yo, how did you get that tornado to look like a fucking tornado?
Oh, and he's like, the first show?
Yeah, dude. You remember this shit? And the Flash had to run around it. Yeah. And like I was there when he was creating everything. Oh my god! I looked at that guy
run the other way.
Yeah. I looked at that guy like, and dude, like all that happened literally took like 2 people, 3 people to do that.
That's bananas.
The team we had was amazing. It was the core foundation of the TV show Flash.
Yeah.
So everybody on that team knew exactly what they had to do, and we did it. We might bitch, we might moan, but we did it, and that was the number one thing. It was like, no matter what happens at the end of the day, this shit needs to look spotless, and it did, and it looked amazing. I couldn't believe it when I saw the first episode. I was like, shit, fool! Like this shit look really good. Like I can dig this. And when I remember having conversations around the coffee machine, like yo, pinch me, and he's like, why? I'm like, bitch, yo, I'm working on the Flash as a TV show, and I'm doing the main characters. Doing the most villains, and I'm like, and he's like, yeah, dude, isn't it crazy? I'm like, how the hell did I end up here? So like being a part of that team was
like full circle in the last 3 years.
Dude, and like before that too, I was working on a cinematic, an open title sequence for Attack on Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
wow!
Yeah, it was Attack on Titan with Universal Studios. I was working on that, and if you just Google Attack on Titan Universal Studios intro,
is it like a ride or something?
Yeah, it's a ride, right? And it's basically 2 Titans fighting, and I don't even remember what I did, but like yeah, I did that. And then like while that was happening, while I was like almost finishing it out, that's when I got a call for the Flash, and then I was juggling the Flash with that crazy schedule and working from home. That's what I was saying. Working from home sometimes kind of suck because you don't know how to shut it off. So I'll go to work and work a 12-hour shift, and then come home and work another like 6 hours, like, and don't sleep. So, like, by doing all this over a certain time, it's like it got to me. I was always working. I was always in the go mode, and that made me a better artist because I chose work, and I chose to be the best at what I did, and as you guys can clearly see, if you watch The Flash, you see the characters, and the show is getting better and better every day. And it's like I've worked on The Flash, Supergirl. It's just like all these shows, like I was a big part of, and I loved it. it gave me this feeling like, yo, I can be more than I thought I was. You know what I mean? It's like, so, and that's what happens. So the TV schedule, back to this. So the TV schedule is crazy. TV schedule is the craziest junk ever. You'll be working on a model. I get a model Monday, and by Friday, this model needs to be completely modeled.
Okay.
By the following Wednesday, this model needs to be already in animation, already sent to the rigger, so he can start rigging the model. So while he's rigging the model, I'm going back and I'm texturing the model. I'm doing everything else to make sure the model, by the time he's done with the rig, I can pass everything on to the next guy. So crazy schedule, crazy fast, just bomb, just knocking out models 24/7.
Sweet.
That's banana, dude.
Hey guys, I gotta head out early.
All right, man.
Thanks for coming on, T.
Yeah,
thanks for
I'll
coming
catch up with you guys at the next one. Odell, I want to say good talking to you for a little bit, and we'll catch up later.
All right, Steve.
All right, peace, man.
Night,
Stay
dude.
black.
Yes, Steve. Did you see him at the end? The fish, like awesome.
Yeah.
Stay black.
And Steve went.
I love that guy. That guy is he's good people.
That's great. Wow.
So, dude, you've literally hit the ground running, and you've done so much already. You've been in Hollywood, working in Hollywood for like 3 minutes.
It feels like it.
Where are we going with this? Where's Odell? What's your ultimate project? The ultimate project that you want to work on?
Okay, so this is my 4th year, which is really weird, right? My 4th year. I think I've done a lot for being the type of artist that I am. I've gotten a lot under my belt. Right now, as an artist, I still need to grow. I still need to get better. So I see myself just hitting the books, dude. Just knocking it out, trying to be like Mike. You know what I mean? It's just like that's all it is. Like just trying to get to that level, which I feel like to no extent whatsoever, I feel like I'm superior over anybody because I'm not. Like what made me who I am is I'm driven, dude. That's the thing. I'm extremely driven.
You moved to a new city with nowhere to sleep. I would say that's a safe assessment.
Yeah, and it's like if you want something bad enough, I used to tell people this all the time. If you want something bad enough, if you're in a room and somebody's gonna give you a gun, and if you're in a room and the walls are closing in and you're gonna die, and the only way to get out of the room is to cut your leg off, you'll cut your goddamn leg off to get out of that room. Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's how I look at it. It's like I'm not done till I'm dead, and I will not stop until I'm dead.
I like that.
Until then, I'm just gonna keep going, and no matter what you say or do, you cannot break me. You just empower me. Nothing you say will hurt my feelings. Duck back, just runs right off.
Duck back.
My man. I like this guy.
So it's like that's the thing. I'm extremely driven, and the reason why I'm driven is because I'm to the bottom, dude. I've been there, and it sucked. The bag of dick. It's like it sucks, man. It's just like you just don't want to go there again. It's like, man, I don't want to pretend. I don't want to pretend for nobody. Like, gotta pretend to eat good food, dude. No.
I want to eat good food.
So like right now, I would love like studios that I would love to go to. I would love, and this is one of my biggest things. I would love to go to Weta. Pretty much all the studios. All the studios that I've set out to work with in LA, I've worked there, and I've learned a lot, and I want to find a home I want to find somewhere where, like, I can be groomed a little bit better. Like, I mean, I know I can't do this on my own, and that's what a lot of people need to realize. Like, you can't do everything on your own, and sometimes you need help, and it's not bad for you to say, "Yo, I need help." And like, I've worked with Dan Catcher, which is like an amazing artist. Like, he's so dope, and like, he's taught me stuff that I would never learn in school. I worked with Meats, and Meats is like, "Yo, this is how I get this to look like this. This is how I get this to look like." I worked with Justin, and this is the same thing. It's like, you learn from these people, and sometimes you need that. You need to bounce your ideas off other people, and you need to take criticism and not get butthurt about it. Because a lot of people just, "Oh, you think my model is shitty?" "Oh, yeah." Like, nobody cares, dude. Like, just move on, go out. So it's just like, I feel like that's what I need right now. Because I've never had that. I've never had somebody said, "Hey, you're a good artist. You have a lot of potential. This is where you need to go with it." And I think I'm at that stage which I need to figure that out, where I'm going to go. But as of right now, I'm at a really good studio right now, and I love it there. I'm at the Mill.
Yep.
And, dude, this place is like, it's so good.
Yeah.
The people there are like,
another level.
Are you guys hippies? This shit it exists? You guys are so friendly.
Are you guys hippies?
It's like if you go in there, first of all, you go in there with this mentality, like, okay, it's the Mill, whatever. It sounds like a factory. That's what I was expecting. That's what I was expecting.
And then you show up.
Dude, people came to me like this, like, "Welcome." And I'm like, "Yo, it's good." Like, they looked at me like, "Welcome to our," like, it's like you're going to somebody's house. "Welcome to my house. Would you like this? Would you like this? Would you like this?" And everybody's been so positive. Everybody's been so, like, energetic when it comes to work. Like, yo, you can see that they love what they're doing, and I love that. I love to work with people that want to work more than I do.
Do you think?
Yeah, that's super like awesome when you can come into a studio.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Like feel welcome.
I'm a punch Hangouts right in the stupid face.
It's okay. It's okay. We're good.
I was gonna ask you. Do you think that people let their guard down and they get that comfortable with people because you guys are at a certain level? Like, if they just had some scrub showing up, are you what is this?
Oh, this is another piece. Continue. I'll explain this in a bit.
That's just it. Do you think that it's because of the quality of people that are walking through the door that they're like, "Hey, welcome. You're hanging out with your kind"?
Well, yes, and I love artists. I think I get along better with people that think out the box. Like, if you're rude, if you just say whatever that comes in your head, like, I would love you. Reason why? Because I know that you're not gonna bullshit me. I know that you're not gonna waste anybody else's time. You're just gonna say what you want, how you want it. And one of my friends used to say this to me: "Yo, closed mouth do not get fed. So you say what you want, and you'll get what you want." So going into a studio like this, everybody's like this. They want something, they say, "Hey, this is what I want," and you're like, "Oh, okay, I got it." They're direct, to the point. And even if you say, "Oh, I don't know how to do this," they're not gonna be like, "Oh, well, what the fuck?" They're gonna look at you like, "Okay, you don't know how to do this. This is how you do it. This is how it should be done." And they'll take their time and they'll explain it to you. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people in the industry, they're good, but they're not good teachers.
Right.
And like, in order to have somebody sit down to you and like passionately explain to you what they did and how they got to this point, that to me is amazing. I'm always asking questions. I don't care if I even know the answer. I'm gonna ask a question because one, it gets you talking to me. It builds that relationship. It shows you that I'm curious, and it gives you the opportunity to then ask me a question, and then we can talk, and we can start that back and forth relationship going. And that's how I build a lot of my relationships in studio. It's just like, first, be friends. Secondly, be like your work. You have to do your work. But it's like you have to have that mentality going in there. It's like you're not the best. Everybody here is artists. Everybody's on their own level. Just because you're on a higher level, that doesn't make you better than everybody else. No, it just makes you, you're just an artist with more experience. That's all it is. Right. That's all it is. You started before somebody else did. Yeah, big whoop. Who cares? That's all it is. So yeah, cool. I don't know if that answered your question or not. But.
So my next two questions I feel silly asking because just the way that you talk, you've already answered them. But I need to just ask them to more or less just for the listeners to get this answer, right?
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go.
What's a good pep talk for someone who is an up-and-coming artist?
Okay. Somebody that's breaking into the industry, the first thing you have to notice.
Today, right?
Today, like if you wanted to go get a job in a studio right now, the first thing you need to do, you have to be persistent. You have to be driven. Number one, they will not. You can get an interview in a studio by whatever work you show. Who knows if you did it? You don't know. You show us some demo reel and yeah, whatever. But once you get there, you have to shine. If you don't shine,
yeah.
And I'm not talking about you have to shit on somebody else to be there. No, you just have to be that type of person that A, wants to learn, B, open, very, very open to criticism. Because if you're not like that, you will not make it. If somebody said, hey, this is not what I had in mind, or this is what I had in mind, but yours still needs a little bit of work, do not get upset. Do not throw a bitch fit.
Right.
Be grown up about it. You're not, and you have to remember something. Everything that you do in a studio is not yours. None of it is yours.
Right.
You're getting paid to make something that
you're basically getting paid to learn.
Exactly. And every day
to be better.
If you go into a studio and you're not being challenged, you know what I mean? You need to double. Yeah, you need to think about what you're doing. But like going into the industry, you have to be open-minded. You have to be strong. You have to be stubborn at certain points. Like, you know what? This is where I need to be. This is what I have to do. Instead of going home and playing video games, go home and start watching tutorials. Read a freaking book. Like, learn anatomy. Learn all the shit that you don't know. Mm-hmm. Ask questions. Closed mouth. Do not get fed. If you're in a studio, make friends. Make as many friends as you can. I'm not saying go up and say hi. No. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I like to do this. How about you? You know, you don't have to do it when you get in the studio, but while you're in the studio, at your lunch break, meet people. Do not sit down like a fucking idiot and not do anything. People, I see that happen so often. I've been to studios, and somebody will come in and they will sit next to me for like a whole month and not even know my fucking name.
Wow.
That is a lot. That's the thing that a lot of people in this industry don't understand, because some of them do not have that social
skill. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Social skill.
Or awareness. Or
yeah. It's like you have to get out of that shell. You have to feel comfortable around everybody. And if you feel uncomfortable, you need to figure out a way how to break that. Because if you're awkward, you're gonna be awkward. You're gonna always be awkward. Everybody's gonna treat you like that awkward person. You want to be treated like you're equal. You want to be treated like you're valued in a studio. So Number one, be open, be friendly. Number two, get up, walk around, talk to people, show people stuff, ask questions. Ask questions. If you don't know something, don't be ashamed of it. Own it. You can either A, ask your supervisor or somebody next to you, B, YouTube the shit. Chances are it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't think that certain things is cheating. There's no fucking cheating in VFX. I'm going to give you a model. I'm going to give you a task. It's Monday. By Wednesday, I need to see this halfway. What are you going to do? They're going to say, hey, we have these assets that we downloaded, or we have a scan or something. Yeah. I need you to take the scan. You're going to have a human head, and I need you to turn this human head into a monster head. But the reason why I'm giving you this human head is because we have to morph from the monster back into the human. A lot of people, I've had somebody said to me, no, that's cheating. Fuck you, that's not cheating. That's getting the job done.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to do what it takes to get the job done. There's nothing wrong with that. And people don't understand that. It's like, you gotta grow up, dude. Like, you're in the field. You made it. You know what I mean? You made it. Now all you have to do is shut your mouth and do what the man says you should do. It's not yours. First of all, it's not your work. You can't fall in love with it.
And a lot of it is like, you know, if you were hot shit in the school that you came from,
you ain't shit.
Yeah.
When you get to the studio.
work in LA, work at a studio in LA, or you know, any big name studio. It doesn't even have to be in LA.
Or studio, you're gonna find people that
just go to any studio. You will be normal as all get out.
Yeah, like you ain't nothing, like, and that's not something to be afraid of.
Right.
Like if you were the big shit in college, good for you.
Right.
Great for you. But now you're in the field, so know what you gotta do is
It's kind of like if you play basketball. Let's say you're a baller in the streets, and then you played in high school. Okay, good. So then you're a really good player in high school. So then you move up to college, and then you're all right, and then you got better. And then by the time you get to the NBA, Jack, everybody's real good. Everyone was that diamond back in high school.
High school stuff.
Everyone's a baller. So you're just normal. What are you going to do?
Separate yourself, yeah.
To separate yourself. What are you going to do to stay consistently working? Because if you fall off, so will those paychecks.
Yeah. And that shit go quick. It goes so quick. But like honestly, and I've seen like students, I've seen interns do this, and it's like, hey, I get it. You know, it might be a little bit intimidating for you, but we're all human beings, and the chances are, if you come up to us and ask us a question, that's the thing about certain artists. Most artists that I've met will jump to help anybody else. Like, hey, let me show you how this is done. Let me show you how this is done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like we learn something cool, and instantly we want to share it. And that's why I love working with certain people in studios, because like everything that you learn is passed down. So it's like I said, it's like everything comes back to the full circle. So do not be afraid. If you see me at any studio, come over to me and say, hey, hey, my name is this. I heard you in this, blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, oh, snap, what's up, fool? Have lunch with me. You know what I mean? Just like, have lunch with me.
Sketch zone.
Yeah, tell me about yourself. What are you into? Like, get to know me as a person first before you start jumping down my throat as like an artist. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, and do not be fake. I hate fake people.
Yeah, we talk about that on this show all the time.
Like, if you don't like me, don't talk to me. Do not come in my face and pretend like you like me, and then behind my back you're talking all this shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get rough, but I'm saying though, it's like,
Actually, you're answering my second question.
What's that?
You're answering my second question. what's a good reality check for that same group? You know, because we can sit here and be like, work your hardest and do, learn and all this other stuff. But you kind of started answering the question I was about to ask you, is what's a reality check for those guys that are coming up?
Yeah, a good reality check is
Don't talk shit.
like I said earlier, don't talk shit. Do not talk shit about anybody. Look, this industry is so small, which is like, it's huge. It's really, which is kind of weird. It's huge in a sense that no matter where you go in this world, you can find some type of VFX being done. Some type.
Yeah.
But it's so small that like everybody knows everybody.
Right.
And you never know who you're gonna work with, or who knows who, or who's gonna be your supervisor one day. Like, look at me. I could have people that I've worked with back in the day. I haven't really spoke to them since then, but one day I can become a supervisor, and I keep like, oh, I know this guy that's really, really good. I'm gonna hire Meets Myers because he's really good, and now I'm Meets supervisor. You never know when that's gonna happen. So you be talking shit about somebody else. Next thing you know, you're shit out of luck because that person that's succeeding in life, you're the hater sitting back there like, man,
Right.
blah 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 blah. You go kick rocks. You're not gonna make it. You're
Right.
not gonna make it. So do not do that. Do always be open. Always be friendly. Do not talk shit about anybody.
Unless you're a jerk in real life, and then just be ready for a short
A short
career.
thing. Nobody wants to work with an asshole, dude. Like, you're gonna stink up the whole place. Nobody wants that.
Yeah,
Nobody wants that.
That's always been my thing. Especially, like, I'll say that during an interview too. I'm like, look, I'll come in and I'm always going to be happy. I mean, when you tell me we're about to bust out on 16 hours a day, it's going to hit me, but I'm going to be like, I'll shake it off and I'll be happy, just because the worst thing is to have to work 16 hours with some person that just has a shitty attitude. It's like, you're not the only one here.
Exactly. And I've worked with people like that. I've worked with people that you're working with them and you can't wait to go home.
Right.
And that's not what I came in this industry for. And a lot of people look at it as like, oh, it's just a job. No, it's not a job. If it was a job, I wouldn't give two shits. After I get off work, I would come home and I'd just go play video games or go do some other shit. I'm home and I'm doing this. This is what I love. This is not a job. This is my life.
Right.
So you go into a studio, know that you're going to an environment when people think the same way that I'm telling you right now. People think like, this is what I am. This is not what I do. This is what I am.
You put so much of yourself into your work, you know.
Yeah, and
it's like, if you let's equate it like this: DaVinci. Everyone knows him for being a complete badass artist and inventor and all that stuff, and that's what he was. So if you're gonna put that much time, that much effort into being something, it's your life.
It is.
You know, you're gonna spend more time with the people that you work with than the people that than your significant other. And if you think I'm kidding,
ask me about that. I can tell you a whole lot about that one right there, buddy. I've lost relationships because of my like big relationships, like huge relationships, and I'm not mad at it. I'm just like, look at you now, Keisha. Look at me. How about you, huh?
I'm working on the Flash.
So it's like you will, like, if you think you're gonna come in this industry and not sacrifice something, you need to wake the hell up real quick, because
you're in the wrong industry. And even if you did want to come out, you're going to be surrounded by people like you.
Yeah.
You know. So,
and that's the thing. It's like,
if you don't want to be obsessed, you're going to be surrounded by people that are obsessed.
Yeah, and you don't want to be that other person. It's like, nobody likes a downer. If you're a downer, you need to get the fuck out. I'm sorry, just like straight up, like, you need to leave.
Right.
It's like nobody wants to be around you. Nobody wants to do anything with you. It's just like it's different. You know what I mean? So like that whole mentality thing is like I keep coming back to it. It's just like you have to be that person to survive in this industry. Don't be like, my work is better, I'm going to do it at home type of thing. No. Like, you're being selfish. Nobody likes a selfish person. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice with this. Nobody likes an asshole. Nobody does.
Dude, when I was working in Hollywood, we had this dude that would escape. When I say escaped, he would straight up, like, he would disappear. And everyone was like, "Where's this kid at?" And he sat in back of me, and I'm like, he was literally just there. I have no idea. Like when 5:30 hit, he was ghost.
Yeah, that's another thing too. A lot of people do that. I never understood that. Why they would. Because like, and I can see where this could go completely wrong. But I've been to studios which I'm working on something, and they're like, "Hey, there's no overtime," and I'm like, "Sure, yeah, cool, no worries."
Sucks.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, "Well, are you gonna log out?" I'm like, "Nah." They're like, "Why not?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna clock out, but I'm gonna stay here and work because I understand what needs to be done, and I'm like, this is really important to me. Like, even though it's not mine, I would just want to see it finished." And a lot of people don't have that mentality sometimes, which kind of throws me off. Like, you're doing this awesome project, wouldn't you want to see it all the way through? I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying work for free.
Right.
That's not what I'm
don't
saying.
get taken advantage of. At least try not to.
Yeah. But when it comes down to it, passion and money is completely two different things. Like you're doing art and you're so into it that nothing matters, and that's when you know you're in love. When you have a girlfriend and your boys are like, "Yo, your girl's a bitch," and you're like, "Nah, she's cool."
cool.
Yeah.
Let's go
And
play
you're like,
basketball. No, I might.
yeah, and then you're like, "No, she's a bitch." I'm like, no, I want to do this, and it's because you're so in love with it, and nothing else matters. And that's how you should look at art. It's like you're in art, you're doing art. That's
Right.
it. You're in love with it, and no matter what anybody else say, you're gonna do the best that you can. And as long as you do the best that you can, what else can you say?
All right, kid. I got one last question for you. It's an easy one. What's your favorite CG movie?
Dum dum dum. Would it be really bad if I said I don't have any?
No, if that's the answer. If you want to be
And
boring.
well, I
Do
can
you
tell
have a
you why.
collection of favorites, or is it just you just hate the stuff that's out there?
I have a few that I like,
All right.
and this is why I said I don't have any that I love. I think that this day and age we're abusing visual effects, and we're um we're throwing visual effects on everything, like shit that doesn't even deserve. Like, dude, what the hell are you doing? It's like, yeah, and I see, you understand what I'm saying. This can be like, you can see this going wrong, but that ruins it. Like, visual effects to me, it should be a treat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you see it, you should see it and be like, yo, what the hell was that? Not if every 2 seconds you look at the movie, it's all visual effects. If you're gonna do a movie like that, do not do it with real people. Do a complete CG movie. Complete CG movie.
That's a good point.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, I miss movies. I miss a good story, and that's the main thing. A lot of movies do not have a good story, and I don't care if it's like the film is like all these explosions and all these cool ships. I don't give two shits. I'll go to the movie to see I want to see and get a story. I want to get something back from it.
Right.
I don't really have a visual effects movie that I'm in love with. I have a lot of old school movies that I'm in love with because the visual effects in it was like it wasn't a big deal. It was like so small, and that made me love those movies. It's
You know
not
what I found
about.
out just the other day? You know the new Mad Max movie?
Mhm.
Almost nothing was CG. The only CG they did was like when dude was under the car and they had him harnessed down, they CG'd out the cables that were holding him in place from getting run over by the car.
Well,
And then like just a little bit of dirt here and there.
I can tell you, like with Mad Max, I didn't work on it, but I was kind of around while it was going on. I was like in the same studio.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of it was done with. They actually built all their props, which was amazing, and which is awesome because guess who else does this? Star Wars does this. All like they mix it's 50-50. It's like what's real and what's fake. You can't really tell, but half the shit that they done on set, which is like amazing, and they did with Mad Max. All those trucks was real.
Dope.
So they probably built the whole trucks, for real, and then built it in CG. So when it's doing all these flips and whatever, we can actually have a truck that's flipping.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else is just straight up practical, and that's a good way to approach it. I love movies like that. I love movies like that. Do not abuse us.
Like, I wonder how he takes that test then. Some of those flips and stuff. Yeah, those stunt dudes had to get it right.
It's like,
well, if you flip a real car, I don't know if you have to redo that. You just flipped a car.
Yeah, you done, son.
Well, I'm just saying, like, to get the look they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
because like I don't know if you guys knew this, but back when Dukes of Hazzard was on TV, they demolished so many cars, just jumping over rivers and just jumping onto the street from some random ramp. The car would land, it would bottom out, parts would fly off of it, and then they just pull up the next one.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's like that's why I don't know. And coming into this, I've never seen Star Wars, so I didn't really have that background that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And then I watched Star Wars. I was forced to watch Star Wars from people in a hangout I used to hang out with. And
yeah,
I watched
Star
Wars.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I watched Star Wars, and I was like, I see where people get this from. I see why people love visual effects, and then I started to appreciate it a little bit more. I started to see all of the sweat and blood people put in this to give the audience something to make them go, wow. You know what I mean? It wasn't like this. It can be the simplest thing, but just the fact that somebody took their time and then put all that time and effort into making this final product for you, that's what made me appreciate visual effects a lot more. And that's why I love it. Just like people that really care about this industry just do what it takes to make this industry what it is. And that's all that matters, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all that matters. I was trying to show you this model, but ZBrush is hella glitchy. So if you want to see it, you can Google Odel Palmer, and you'll see a Vimeo link. Just click on that Vimeo link, and you'll see a turntable of this model that I'm trying to show right now.
Sweet, cool.
Yeah, ZBrush is.
And it's worth it if you're listening. It's worth it. This dude is just angry. He's got a shoulder pad with spikes coming out, a shield with arrows coming out. He's got an axe for that ass, boy.
essentially, he's an orc. An orc. I think I was watching
an orc that was told he was going to work on a CG movie for 16 hours a day.
I was actually watching, not watching, trying to play. What's that? God, I'm really bad at this. What's that? Blizzard. Boom. Thanks, Charlie.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, so I was watching World of Warcraft and I was like, oh shit, how did they do that? That looks pretty cool. So I started messing around and then I came up and I got this model, and as you can see, I'm not here. As you can see, it turned out kind of cool. Like, it turned out actually kind of cool. I didn't finish it completely, but as you can see, it looks.
Holy crap!
It looks pretty good.
It's alright, I guess, if that's what you're looking for.
I mean, it's alright.
If you're into orcs, I guess.
Yeah, so this is the turntable I was talking about.
Pass.
There it is. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I love those flags too. He's got a couple flags waving in the wind. Dope.
Mm-hmm. But I do have a lot more models that I will be putting out. And my website will be up. It's not up right now. Well, it's up, but there's nothing on it right now. I'm planning on launching a bunch of stuff before May, which is my birthday, May 2nd, which, of course, Marvel's going to put out a movie on that day. So thank you, Marvel.
To celebrate your birthday. Yeah.
It's a celebration, bitch. Yeah, so so yeah, it's like keep an eye out for a lot to come, and I promise you won't be disappointed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir, for being on the podcast. This was definitely well worth the wait.
Yeah.
You
told you it was gonna be good.
You're cool.
I told you.
Drops the mic.
Yeah, and like if anytime you guys I would love to come back and just drop some knowledge.
We're gonna get you to come back. You're just way too much of a badass not to.
Don't put that pressure on me, bro.
Now that you finally accepted me on Skype.
Oh, there it is. Shots fired.
You see how he did the laser guns? He didn't look at.
Yeah, man. Just like anytime, bro. And people out there, if you want to like hit me up on Facebook. Like, honestly, I will talk to you. Like, I don't care.
Do you have a website out there at all, or you just got? I got an IMDb.
I have an IMDb.
I'm going to put as many links to your stuff. I know you have a Vimeo page that people could check out your work. So Google Odel, Odel Palmer, Palmer, and Vimeo, and you can check out his stuff.
Oh yeah, you can probably put comments and stuff, and like you probably can get.
Yeah. And then we're going to put as many links as we can on this episode's page.
And like I said, I've been
come back, dude. You are a trip.
You should go on one of the panel shows or something in the future. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Have the production artist perspective.
I've been working on
crackhead perspective.
Yeah, crackhead perspective.
I've been working on so many projects that I have so much to show. I just don't have the time to put them together. But like, I've been working on some other pieces for myself personally. That's like.
Oh, dude, we'll talk after the show. I got you.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be real good.
We'll talk right after the show. All right, and then Charlie B. Williams. If people are looking for you, where can they find you?
So you can find me at my website, which is cargocollective.com/Charlie B. Williams. Facebook is CharlieBW3. That's my artist page on there. You can contact me there. Twitter, CBW3. Hold a conversation. I'll reply to you. Instagram is CharlieBW3. And that good Pinterest. If you need good reference.
Handle that Pinterest.
You need Pinterest in your life. Get it. It's an amazing tool for artists. You should use it. But CharlieBW3, one of the best boards on there. Don't listen to DeCosta or Steve Tukowski. Don't go to theirs. You'll be okay.
Yeah, and special shout out to our boy Steve Tukowski. Visit him at sketchbot.tv, and I believe all of his social networking is under his name, Steve Tukowski, TLKOWSKI. He's a badass too.
He's super busy and super good. Like he's have a lot of good stuff coming out this year.
Yeah.
Stay tuned with that.
Yeah, and I am Carlos Gomez. You can find me at carlosrgomez.com, and on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, look under Coconut Justice. Sorry, I was looking at Odel's screen, and he just got me. Look at that's Flash, dude.
That's the one I was telling you about. Yeah.
Pew!
Y'all silly.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. You can find me under Coconut Justice. You can actually, nope, that's it. If you're on Twitter, hit me up. #AnimateCCChampion. How dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? This has been the Sketch Zone podcast. You can find us at sketch.zone. If you're on Twitter, you can find us at Sketch Zone on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/thesketchzone, youtube.com/sketchzonepodcast. And we are always reachable on Stitcher, SoundCloud, and, of course, iTunes. That's it for us. We are out.
See you guys.
See you
Odel
guys.
Palmer. Pew, pew.
Pew, pew. Stay black, everybody. Keep it proud.